So this is a video I've been wanting to do for quite some time, and this would be a review of a sour green mango. And in terms of my experience with mangoes, I've been growing mangoes for quite a bit of time, but in terms of really eating and appreciating a ripe mango, I had Asian mangoes in Southeast Asia. I have some of our mangoes here. We got this in the store in terms of ripe mangoes like Altafos and Kents in the store. But for the most part, I had always kind of more or less uh, eaten my mangoes sour and green. Appreciating like a ripe mango is pretty new to me. So like the last 2 years, in terms of like eating ripe mangoes, is where I had most of my experience with the different varieties of mangoes. So because of that, I don't have like a strong opinion in regards to what makes a perfect kind of like ripe mango. How sweet it should be, what's kind of like the acid ratio and the flavor, even like the texture. The texture of say a Thai mango is completely different than the texture of a Indian mango. And for me, for the most part, I like Indian mangoes more than the others, but I like most of the mangoes either way, the ripe mangoes. So I don't have that strong of opinions on some of those in terms of what makes a great, ripe mango. But for green mangoes, I've been eating green mangoes for a very long time. And like I said, until the last couple of years, the majority of my mangoes, I've always enjoyed it mostly green. So I have some strong opinions about what makes a perfect green mango, what you should be looking for in a green mango, and that kind of criteria. So this is kind of a review of that, and this is something I'm going to do with this is a review of my California Romeat, but it's something I do want to do with the Zill mangoes. I am interested in the Zill mangoes for that aspect too. Lots of the Zill varieties are excellent ripe mangoes, but I also want to figure out if they're pretty good green mangoes also. So this is my house variety, California Romeat. It's my own seedling I've been growing for quite some time. And this right here is about a 6-inch. This is a 6-inch fruit. When it gets more closer to ripe, it kind of fills out more. You kind of see a little bit of this S shape. It kind of gets more kind of just plump and round when it gets more ripe. So this is a healthy one. There's an embryo inside. We cut into it. This one's not a healthy one. So this one's one that's, in my opinions, we call them nubbins in California. In my opinion, it's due to fungal issues that causes nubbins, which is they don't have embryos in there, and the fruit the seed husk prematurely gets hard. It doesn't really increase in size. There's no embryo in it, but it's still pretty good eating. And in terms of this variety, it doesn't crack as much. Some of the fruitlets crack, but for the most part, it kind of stays like that. It just kind of gets very rough and stays at this kind of size. And when they ripen, they're very good ripe, pretty good ripe mangoes too, these nubbins. So this is an example of a California Romeat nubbin. It's still a little bit long, but nothing like. See all these ruffling on the skin. Okay. Let's see. Before I get started, let me just kind of tell you guys how lots of green mangoes are enjoyed kind of throughout pretty much Southeast Asia. So what I have here is a few different dipping sauces. Kind of to the right, this is kind of just rock salt with chili. If you don't have like rock salt with chili, lots of people just use, say, salt, mix it with either some fresh chili or some dry chili powder, right, to dip it with. The middle one is kind of going from here, it kind of gets more stronger. So this is like this is a fish sauce with sugar. So you see that kind of being used quite a bit in, say, like Vietnam and so forth, it's fish sauce and chili. Fish sauce and sugar, and you could mix the sugar at different ratios, right? So some people like it very thick. You add more sugar, it's very thick and much more sweeter. And less sugar is a little bit more salty. So for me, I kind of like it at this texture where it's kind of almost a little bit more like honey texture, and that's why I kind of like my fish sauce and sugar. But again, the fish sauce is a strong tasting flavor, right? But it adds a bit of nice component to it. It adds a bit more like savory umami to the dipping sauce. Now to the left right here, this is a shrimp paste, where the base is a shrimp paste. There's been lots of spices and other ingredients mixed into it, including sugar. And this condiment is used quite a bit throughout Southeast Asia. So I had different versions of like a Filipino version, a Laos version, a Thai version, a Vietnamese version, and a Cambodian version. And I'm sure like there's probably even their own, probably something similar to this in like maybe Malaysia and Indonesia. I'm not too sure, but I never had that. But I've had each of those in those different, from those different ethnic areas. So shrimp paste as a basis for kind of like this kind of dipping these green mangoes is quite popular. So, but it is a strong flavored, very strong flavored. Kind of you go from right to left. This is kind of just your simple kind of rock salt with chili, and then it gets more and more strongly flavored. It's not quite for everyone. You probably have to kind of get used to it, by stepping up kind of in a way. So that's the three sauces I'm using right here. And again, you guys could enjoy it with lots of different things. Just sour mango with even just like tahini or any kind of chili powder. It's good within itself. Okay, so that's me covering the different sauces. There's probably quite a bit of different versions of everything else too. So just kind of three simple sauces. There's probably other ones used throughout Asia. Now for a green mango, what's my opinion in terms of what like you should be looking for in a green mango? The first thing I would say is sourness, right? You want a mango that's sour. You don't want a mango that's not sour, right? So this is a sour green mango. It's not one of the sweet Thai mango ones, but you want that sourness. People enjoy that. So you want some sourness on it, but you don't want it to be too sour. Some varieties of mangoes are extremely sour to the point where it's a bit unpleasant for a lot of people. They don't find it that pleasant when it gets to that kind of level of sourness. For example, just to kind of make some comparison, Nam Doc Mai number 4, specifically Nam Doc Mai number 4, I am not too sure about the other strains of it, but the number 4 is a very, very sour green mango. Some people find it, and some people find it even unpleasant. So you say Nam Doc Mai number 4 is a 10, and say sometimes you find these green Kent immature mangoes in the grocery store. You say that's the 4. This would be more or less a like 5 or 6. It's very pleasant in terms of acidity. It's very pleasant in terms of acidity. So it's a good kind of good to have it as a kind of to capture different taste on it from the dipping sauce, not being too sour. So this one is the California Mint. Again, I would describe more or less like a 5 or 6 in sourness. So it's a very medium ground. It's to me kind of a bit more on a like kind of where you want your green mangoes to be. Okay, the other thing would be, I would say, texture, right? So texture is another thing. You don't want a mango that has like almost like a rubbery texture, right? It has to have some kind of crispiness to it, some kind of crispness to it. And The one that has the one example of a variety that has amazing crispness to it is like Nam Dok Mai. Nam Dok Mai is a very crispy green mango. Very light, very crispy. It's excellent, right? And if a Nam Dok Mai is a 10 in terms of crispness, I would say this is more or less I would give it probably about a 7, right? A 7. And then you got some other varieties that's just, there's no crispness to it. It's almost like a rubbery. I can't think of specific varieties people have tasted as like that, but I've grown some where it's just not that crispness. Doesn't have that at all. Maybe some of the people maybe have tried, say, like a Laverne Manila. It's kind of similar to some of the Coriantes. I would say the crispness on that is more or less probably around like a one level above this. So maybe like an 8. So if this is a 7, that's an 8. Or if this is an 8, that's a 9 in terms of how crispy it is. Okay. The other thing, and it's definitely not a deal breaker, is the skin. How edible the skin is. Some people enjoy the level of the kind of the resin or whatever the flavors you kind of get on the skin. Some people eat it exactly with the skin on. This one is very good. You can eat the skin. There's no astringency to it, no off flavors in it. It adds a little bit of resin. You kind of like that. So it's really good with the skin on. Some varieties, again, are not good with the skin on. So say like the Laverne Melilla, that's green mangoes, the skin is good. There's no off flavors on it. But if you have some of the Thai varieties, again, I'm referencing Nam Dok Mai No. 4 because probably lots of you guys may have tasted that, and that's a pretty popular one here in Southern California for people trying to grow and stuff. That one has a very off-putting, astringent taste in the skin. I would not eat a Nam Dok Mai No. 4 with the skin on. I would definitely be peeling that, but this one I definitely leave the skin on. Okay. The other part is kind of like an aroma to it. I guess, to me, I never really thought about it too much, but like a lot of native Southeast Asian has described kind of like an aroma to a mango. Even a green mango I'm talking about, an aroma to a green mango. And from what I can tell from what it is, it's that slight bit of resinous smell to it, where it kind of gives it a nice, like you're cutting into a mango, but it's not off-putting, right? So this has that. It has that like kind of aroma / tiny bit of resin, without it really adding any kind of strong notes to the flavor. So it's a very light kind of resinous smell to it, but nothing too strong that is kind of off-putting. Like for an example, a green skin Atafu mango, it has a very strong, almost kind of like kerosene taste or smell to it. It is very off-putting. That's my comparison to an Atafu green skin mango. A Nam Dok Mai No. 4 and lots of the Thai varieties really has no smell at all. There's complete no resin smell to it. There's no smell at all when you cut into it. So some people do enjoy that aroma. It's something they like, especially those that kind of grown up with green mangoes in the childhood. So this has a little bit of that. It kind of adds a little bit of complexity to it. Let's see, what else am I going to add? And eating the green mango green, there's different stages of green mango, right? So you could eat it before the seed husk develops. So something like this, the seed husk is not hard. You could cut literally through this and eat everything but the embryo. Once the seed husk gets hard, then you have to cut around and so forth. That's like another stage of eating green mangoes. But for me, I've always preferred it before the seed husk develops into before it gets hard. That's where I kind of enjoy it, right at that stage before the seed husk hardens off. So, and this one I'm gonna cut it up right now, and I'm gonna just eat it and kind of just show you guys how I eat it. And I think I described most of the flavor for you guys already, but I kind of just show you how I enjoy this. So cut this off. I'm gonna here's a nice embryo right here, and then and you could cut your mangoes different ways to kind of add different texture, right? I kind of like it this texture. When I eat this, it kind of reminds me of a pickle, you know, a cucumber pickle. I kind of like it like this, but you can also cut it, you know, really thin slices, which people like that way also. So, you know, the way you slice it does make a difference in terms of like the mouthfeel and texture of what you want, you know. So I am gonna go ahead and eat this. I'm gonna try this with the rock salt first. And as you can see, I'm eating this with the skin on. Again, not for everyone. If you don't like that, you could easily kind of peel it off before you cut it. And just salt and some chili. I don't think this would be kind of in like, I don't think anyone would find any kind of off-putting flavors with just, you know, salt and chili. And it's probably like, you know, this works really well for some of you guys that probably love cucumbers. Well, I'm not cucumbers, but like pickles, like myself. Okay. Next up is this is the fish sauce and sugar. So that adds a bit of the what I call a savory component to it, along with a sweetness to it. You know, a lot of people like that. Okay, and then up next, I'm gonna do this shrimp paste, which is very strong flavored. But this is one of my most favorite of the dipping sauce. I do tend to prefer this shrimp paste one. I think I described the texture on this in terms of crispiness as a 7. I have to take that back. I would have to say this is a good 8. You know, a good 8 in terms of crispiness. So in terms of green mangoes, I consider this variety I grown, this California Romeat, to be one of the best I've ever had in terms of green eating mango varieties. Like I said, the only thing that makes this probably not a perfect green mango what checks off absolutely everything is the crispiness of it. It's very crispy, but it's not a kind of like a Thai non-duck mai for crispiness. It's not at that level, but it is very good. Much more crispier than certain like Canton stuff you get at the store. You know, any of those green mangoes you get at the store, those kind of lean towards more like a rubbery texture than crispiness of an apple. You know, so that's just my review of California Romeat. And this is something I do kind of want to do with some of the other varieties when I get a chance. So this variety, crispiness is very good. Sourness is right there in the middle. It's not too sour where it's unpleasant. Skin is edible. There's no astringency to the skin or anything like that. Has a slight resinous aroma that kind of gives people the sense of a mango aroma. You know, kind of, you know, you're eating a mango. Yeah, so that's the California Romeat. I'm gonna just cut this one open to see what's in this, because this one's it's a nubbin. I just want to see what's in here. Yeah, and here you can see the seed husk getting hard already, right here. You can see, and there's no embryo on this. Well, nothing's wrong with it. I mean, still a good mango. No off flavors in the skin. Okay, everyone, that is my review of California Romeat as a green mango. I hope to try to save some of the fruits this year and have it ripen and then do a taste review. Hopefully my family doesn't go through all the mangoes before anything ripens, but that would be the only challenge. So hopefully I will give you guys a review of a ripe California Romeat later this year. And it's a mango that I haven't really before I really began enjoying and eating ripe mangoes of the different Zil varieties, a lot of different Florida varieties, a lot of Indian varieties. I really did not appreciate it as much, but as I tasted others and then I go back to this as a ripe mango, I realized that it is a pretty good ripe mango, and I'll have a review of that later this year when it ripens. Okay. All right. Thanks everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I don't think eating green mangoes is really for everyone, but maybe now you guys kind of maybe have if you never ate a green before and just heard about it, maybe now you have a bit of more sense of how it's enjoyed and everything. So thanks for tuning in. I hope this was informational and at least kind of entertaining in a bit. All right, thank you.